Hi, this is Mike, and welcome back to 5 Minutes of Fantasy Sports. So, today I want to shift topics a little bit since we're kind of midweek. I want to talk about fantasy basketball. Fantasy basketball is something I play and enjoy. So, the three sports I play are fantasy football, fantasy basketball, and fantasy baseball. And as far as order of commitment, I guess, per week, I would say fantasy football is the least is required to be successful. Fantasy basketball, it's a little bit more effort, but not a ton. And then fantasy baseball, I guess to be good, you really want to check it every day and be monitoring your team because a lot can change and you have games every day for pretty much all your players. So when you think about it, football, you play one game a week. Basketball, it's 3 to 4 usually. Baseball, it's 6. So the players play a lot more often in basketball. So anyway, what I want to do is just talk about my league that I'm in Yahoo here and the settings. Take a look at the settings. Talk about my draft strategy. I'm in week 3 already, or week 4. So we got 3 weeks in the books, which is nice. So here's my team. I think I clicked the wrong thing there. So let's actually look at the settings. So there's 2 different types of Yahoo leagues. There's a point league, and then there's head-to-head leagues. I think there's also roto leagues, but I don't know if anyone still plays roto. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to your league, and then you want to click on where it says settings. If you're in the app, it's in a slightly different place. Let me find it in the app here. So you just go to league, and at the very top, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it says settings over here. You click on that, and then you click on league settings, and it brings up the same settings that we're looking at here on the website. So the main thing you want to check is, first off, how many spots do you get before you draft? You want to see what draft type you're doing, and then you want to see the categories that you're using. So points leagues are kind of like fantasy football, where every stat category earns a certain amount of points, and then at the end of the week, the team with the most points wins. Categories are a little different. So basically you get 9 different categories, and the winner of each category gets 1 point that week, and you have a total that adds up to 9. So if you win 7 categories, you would win 7-2, and you get 7 wins, 2 losses. Pretty straightforward. And so this league here, there's 9 categories: field goal percentage, free throw percentage, 3 points made, points scored, total rebounds, assists, steals, block shots, and turnovers. Turnovers being like golf, where the lowest is going to win that week. And then we have point guard, shooting guard, guard, small forward, power forward, forward, center, utility. So 10 starting spots, and then we have 3 bench spots plus an IL plus, which is basically any player who's not healthy you can put on IL plus and add someone for that time. So a couple other things you might want to check. Let's see here. So this was a live salary cap draft. It happened October 17. So salary cap draft is like you get a certain amount of dollars to spend, and you can spend as much on the players as you want. So there's different strategies you can use for that. I'll talk about that in a minute here. But the other thing is head-to-head. So like I mentioned with the categories, you get 40 moves or 40 acquisitions for the season. So you always want to check that. One thing I like to do is try to add players kind of early on in the year when the breakout players are starting to emerge, or maybe a player other people have forgot about is starting to maybe play pretty well. So I use a lot of my moves kind of early on, and because of that, I have to be aware of this 40 move limit. So I try to keep that. I usually come up to it, and sometimes they've let us in our league trade for moves, so I can trade a player and in return get another player plus 5 moves to kind of even out the trade. So look at your settings. You always want to check those, and then come up with a strategy as far as how you're going to approach winning these categories, because really that's what you have to do every week. So I'll share with you. We got you know what? I might just go over this part for now, and then next video I'll talk about draft strategies you can use. So the main thing you want to do is, when you're doing an auction draft especially, you can get really any player you want as long as you're willing to pay for him on the team. So for me, I wanted to get 2 superstar guards. And that's kind of what I did, and then I built the rest of my team around that. So I'll talk about that in a little more detail on the next video, and we'll end it up here for today.